Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This is creamy tuna and pea pasta bake. Serve 6. Here's what we need. As well as this, you're going to need a nice big pan, a pot of boiling water, and a frying pan. Come on in, talk you through this. Also, a pasta stirring stick and a stirring stick. Don't forget those. Okay, so our ingredients are as follows. 3 cups of dried curl pasta. Now, 3 cups, it's only to that. It's not much. So I've got some spirals and some shells. You can use whatever you want though. Just basically use up pasta that you've got in bags. This morning I had to do a little bit of a cleanup, so I've found a container and all the renegade pasta that is still in there is all in one thing. So I'm happy with that. 350 grams of small florets of broccoli. Now this is frozen. It's been out for a while, but it's perfect. Exact amount, 350 grams. 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Haven't measured it, but it's there. 2 garlic cloves crushed. I haven't crushed them, but they're ready for me. 4 shallots thinly sliced. They're thin enough. They're in there. 425 gram can of tuna in spring water, drained and flaked. It's pretty much flaked. It's drained, but it's pretty much flaked. 1.5 cups of frozen peas. A 1/4 cup of plain flour. That's about to be measured out. 2 375ml cans of evaporated milk. These are the ones from Aldi. They're 384 mils, but that's fine. 2 of those. 1 cup of fresh white breadcrumbs. I have grain bread, so I'm just using grain bread. 2 slices is pretty close enough. I couldn't be bothered measuring it. And 1.5 cups of grated tasty cheese. I've gone a bit overboard because I do like cheese. No, actually, it's about right. That was in the freezer and it's been out for a while. So I've been having internet issues. So that's why these episodes are late. I'm back online very slow. So just waiting for another box. Geez, I hate having to rely on the internet, but here we are. I have to Wi-Fi things. So we also need some chopped parsley for the top, which I'll get from my windowsill. There's still a bit left. The salad to serve. Ironically, I brought pasta salad to go with it, and that ended up being my dinner the 2 days that I was supposed to eat this. So I'm just doing pasta bake. Anyway, now that you know what's going on, oven on 160, fan forced, 180 regular. That pot of water should be nearly boiling. So once that is boiling, we're going to pop in the pasta, and then we're going to get the frying pan going, and we're going to get the rest of it going. So it's really easy. It's just that I've been very time poor and I've had a lot of things that I've had to do, a lot of phone calls. But let's go. So because I'm on this side of the kitchen, I'm going to move this over to the other side. And we are going to whack in our 2 teaspoons of olive oil into this frying pan. I should spray it. I'm the one that goes on about spray it because it's easier to wash up, and then I don't do it. All right, here we go. So we want 2 teaspoons of olive oil in there. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. Beautiful. All right, let's crank this one on. high heat for that one. I don't normally use that hot plate, but sort of got to start using different hot plates on this oven, because if they don't get used, I don't know what will go wrong. I don't want anything to go wrong. Okay, when that comes to the boil, our pasta's going in. So into here, we are adding our shallots. These were in the freezer, but they're fine. If you get a bunch of shallots and you've got leftover ones, pop them in the freezer, because they're perfect to use in a recipe like this, because we're cooking them. We don't need them fresh. If we needed them fresh, I'd say buy a bunch and then put the rest in the freezer. So we're trying to minimize waste, and by doing it this way, we're definitely there. Okay, so our 2 cloves of garlic, we're just going to crush them. And our super garlic crusher. Crack it in. Get yourself a little knife. Alright, this is the best garlic crusher ever. You used to have one where you'd have to take it out to clean it. This one, to clean it, you just literally push it over, flick that bit out. Alright, can hear that water coming up to the boil. So we're multitasking now. Pop in your pasta. We want to cook that pasta till it's al dente, which means firm to the bite. And we're going to put the broccoli in at the end. Now my broccoli is frozen, so the beauty of that is the fact that it being frozen, it's a lot more cooked than if we had fresh, because fresh takes forever to cook. It's a good standby having frozen veggies in the freezer. I hardly ever use them, but days like today, they come in really handy. Okay, so we are going to cook those until the onion has softened, and then we're going to add the tuna, peas, and flour. So we just start bringing things over. Tuna, peas, and flour. Alrighty, we're getting there. Give our pasta, we're going to keep our pasta on the high heat. Just give it a stir every now and again. Give this a stir as well. Alright, because they were frozen, I pretty much just turn that down now. So we're adding our peas, which are frozen. They've been out of the freezer for a while. It's been a crazy morning with the NBN technician coming and then having to be on the phone. So I was sort of starting to get things ready to cook, but also having to be on hold and trying things, and very fortunate that we was able to get some internet going. So you can have an episode tonight. Alright, so flake that up as we go. Alright, let's go. Once we break all this up, we can get that pasta, not the pasta, the flour in. Now, one thing with tuna and spring water is, to me, it's very dry, but it's the healthiest way to have tuna. Normally prefer the one in the oil or the little flavoured ones. They make good sandwiches, those little ones. Alright, now get your 1/4 cup of flour and sprinkle that over the top. It's a good thing about keeping my flour in this tub. And a 1/4 cup. It goes straight over. So sprinkle it over. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to give that a stir. Season with salt and pepper. Oh, I was supposed to add that in with the pasta. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to make it up in here. This is all going to end up all in the same thing anyway. The milk goes in at the end. I would sort of think that it would be easier to make it up as a milk in here, as a sauce in here. I'm going to put salt and pepper in with this. I think what I'll do is I'll put 1 tin of the milk in here, and then once I've drained that, everything can go in together because the flour is going to thicken it. Okay, salt. We probably don't want too much salt, mainly because we're cooking the pasta in salt as well. Salted water. Crack that pepper over the top. All right, I'm going to get 1 tin of the evaporated milk. Doing it a bit differently. Oh, these are a funny tin. Okay, here we go. Well, let's put this one in. I reckon I might just be able to put both of them in actually. We'll do one at a time, because the pasta's got to go in here as well. Pasta's not going to fit in this one, so we're going all back into that one. So I'm just going to bring this up to a slow boil, I think. And then the other one can go in when we get to that step. So once your pasta's nearly ready, in goes your broccoli. I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to pop the broccoli in now, which means that it's going to bring the boil down a little bit. So pop your timer on for 2 minutes, and then we're nearly ready to drain it all. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the sauce, and we're going to drain the pasta and broccoli and bring it all together. Okay, I'm just going to go grab it. Oh, it's slightly heavy. Slightly awkward when I go to do this. Here we go. Beautiful. So this dish comes in very handy for big pasta bakes like this. So you might think 3 cups of pasta isn't much, but it does actually look like much after all. Okay, here we go. Okay, just set that aside. And then all we need to do is sprinkle with the breadcrumbs, which should be white ones, but I use grain bread, so I wasn't going to go and buy a loaf of bread to get 2 slices of that. I have been known to buy just a couple of bread rolls to do it, but this time I didn't. I thought, no, I'll just use what I've already got, and I don't mind the grains in it. You get a little bit of a texture with it. Okay, and then the cheese. This is going to bake for half an hour. So I will see you when this is cooked. And there we have it. 30 minutes later, creamy tuna and pea pasta bake. I really hope you enjoy this one, and thank you for watching. Don't forget, hit subscribe and you'll never miss another episode. Bye.